Hey guys, what's up? It's your YouTuber Jaya. Welcome back to my channel. We talk about all things money, finance, and entrepreneurship. Guys, in today's video, we are going to be talking about financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s. In your 20s, you are susceptible to a lot of scams and a lot of mistakes because we have so much freedom to do whatever you want. But at the same time, you're also in your 20s. So there's a lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that you just wouldn't have done if you would have knew better. And in today's video, we are going to be going over some of the most common financial mistakes you can make in your 20s to help you avoid wasting a whole bunch of money. Coming in at number one, the first mistake that you should avoid in your 20s is taking out a lot of unnecessary debt. In your 20s, it can be so easy to go into too much debt because you have so much freedom, but you also have a lot of excess money because you don't have that much responsibility. So it can be so much easier to get a car with a slightly higher car note or to take out just a little bit extra credit card debt than you can comfortably afford. It's two types of people when it comes to taking out debt. You have the people who are so excited and can't wait to take out their first credit card, and then you have people that are absolutely terrified of debt and don't want anything to do with it. Both can be harmful if not properly informed. It can be very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, I'll just put it on my card and pay it off later. But it's very important that we're only using debt for our leverage and to our advantage. When you get in your 20s, heck, when you turn 18, you're going to get a lot of people emailing you and sending you mail for pre-qualified offers for credit cards and loans and car notes. And it's very important that you weigh the risk and see if this debt is actually worth taking out. Coming in at number two, the second mistake that you can make in your 20s is not paying attention to your credits. You guys, credit is so important. Having good credit will set you up for financial success. Not having good credit can cost you a lot of money in fees and interest. Length of credit history is a very important factor that they take in when you apply for loans and when you apply for credit cards. Because what length of credit history tells the credit card or the loan lender is how long of a record do you have being responsible with credit. The longer your length of credit history, the better. In fact, the recommended length of credit history is 7 to 8 years. In order to be in the green on Credit Karma, you need to have at least 7 years of credit history. Length of credit history makes up about 15% of your overall credit score. With all of that information taken into consideration, 15% of your overall credit utilization, 7 years to have a healthy length of credit history, what age should you open your first credit card? And the answer is as soon as possible. The longer your length of credit history, the better. So if you open up your first credit card at 18, then by the time you're 25, you're in the green. If you open your first credit card at 20, then by the time you're 27, you're in the green. As you can see here, the earlier, the better. If you work really hard in your 20s and make sure that by the time you're 25, 26, you have a really strong credit score, about 700 to 720 plus, you're gonna have a way better financial future. You need credit to pretty much do anything and everything in the adult's life. You need credit to get a phone, you need credit to get an apartment, you need credit to get a house, you need credit to get a car. Sometimes jobs will check your credit score when you apply for them because seeing how responsible you are with your credit sometimes can dictate how responsible you are with your job. Long story short, having good credit is very important and will set you up for financial success, and neglecting your credit in your 20s, the mistake that you should definitely avoid. The third mistake that you can make in your 20s is not saving any money. A lot of people think that because they're in their 20s, that kind of gives them excuse to be irresponsible with money, spend money and not keep a budget, just be completely irresponsible with money and just blow money on random things that just don't make any sense. And that really comes back to haunt them in their 30s and 40s. When it comes to saving money in your 20s, it's either going to go one of two ways. You're either going to spin around in circles, spend money on random stuff, always go shopping, not put any money in your savings, not make savings a priority at all, and into your 30s with $0 in your savings account. Or you're going to use your 20s as an opportunity because in your 20s you have very little responsibilities. For the most part, you don't have any children, you're not responsible for anybody else, you don't have that many responsibilities in your 20s, so all of your money can pretty much just go towards you and whatever you want to do with it. So with all of this excess money that you have, taking as much money as you possibly can and saving it and investing it can really set you up for success in your 30s and your 40s. And in your 20s, you have this excuse because, like I was saying, your only responsibilities is your dogs. You don't have anybody to come home to, so you can get 2 jobs and a side hustle to help you save a whole bunch of money. So just let that simmer and think about that when you go to Starbucks for the 5th time this week and you buy your 3rd pair of $200 shoes for the month. Just think, I will never have the opportunity to save as much money as I do right now. Number 4, coming in at number 4, the 4th mistake that you should avoid in your 20s. It's a touchy subject, but it needs to be said. Getting useless degrees in school. We have come to this point, right, in society where going to college is about finding yourself, seeing what you like, exploring a deep journey of the inner self. But on whose dollar? On whose dollar are you going on this journey of self-exploration? The average college tuition is $25,000 per year. That is very expensive to find yourself. I am not against college. I think college is great, but when you go to college, you need to go with a plan. I am going to this college to get this degree for this job. Going to college for just to figure it out when you get there. Figure out when you get there on $25,000 a year? No. College coach told me when I was in high school that the correct way to pick your major in college is that you pick the job first. Then you pick the program that you need for the job. That's the degree. And then you see what school has the best program to help qualify you for the job. That is how you pick a degree. If you don't have that in mind, if you don't have that plan, then you're wasting money. You're wasting so much money. Take a step back, maybe take a year off, and then go back to school once you have a plan and you figured out what you want to do, because you're going to be the one that's going to have to pay back all of those student loans. And when you're paying it back, okay, 10 years from now, and you're thinking, wow, why do I have $75,000, $50,000 in student loan debt when you could have had half of that? A lot of that money was just years that you spent in college spinning around in circles figuring out what it is that you want to do. I can make a whole video on this topic. This is a topic I'm very passionate about, and I'm not going to name anybody's degree because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but if you are not a STEM major in the law field, in the medical field, maybe the business field, heavily consider what you're in college for. Heavily consider these student loans and say, we're going to school to get this degree. Do I really need this degree to get the job that I want? All things to consider, because at the end of the day, those student loans are going to be due, and all you're going to be left with is this $50,000 mistake that you should have avoided. Coming in at number 5, the 5th mistake you can make in your 20s is not becoming financially literate. Like I've been saying, the consistent theme of this video, we kind of use our 20s as an excuse to not take finances seriously. Being financially literate allows you to make educated decisions to grow and manage your money. Making financially illiterate mistakes in your 20s can set you back for the rest of your life. Financially illiterate mistakes such as taking out payday loans, getting high interest rates on cars, leaving balances on credit cards with high interest rates, leaving high balances on credit cards with high interest rates, that will cost you a lot of money. Getting high interest rates on cars, you could be paying more in interest than you are paying for the actual principal of the car. All of these mistakes will cost you money in the long run, and being financially literate just allows you to make smart, educated decisions when it comes to money, because you can't make an educated decision if you don't have education. You see how that works? It's a circle. So not becoming financially literate in your 20s is probably a very big mistake that you can make. And coming in at number 6, the 6th mistake you can avoid in your 20s is not saving up for retirement. You guys, it costs $1 to $1.2 million to comfortably retire. Let me say that again. It costs $1 to $1.2 million for you to comfortably retire. That means that between age 20 and age 65, you have that amount of time to save up $1 to $1.2 million. And a lot of people don't find out about this until they're in their late 30s and their late 20s. You guys, you have about 40 to 45 years to save up $1 to $1.2 million. The clock starts now, okay? The clock started when you turned 18. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money to save up in a short amount of time. I'm just gonna say it, 40 years. We're talking 40 years, $1.2 million, and you're not like a business owner. You just have a regular job. You work 9 to 5 that you're comfortable and you're happy with. 1.1 to $1.2 million, that is a lot of money. A lot of money. One way that you can ensure that you have your $1.2 million to comfortably retire is to open up a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account where you contribute your after-tax dollars, and if you don't touch any of the money before age 59 and a half, then all of the money that you take out will be tax-free. If you try to take out any of the money before you're 59 and a half, then they will charge you tax on that money. If at age 25 you contribute $5,000, so I'm giving you to 25, not even 20. You contribute $5,000 into a Roth IRA, and you continue to contribute $6,000 annually. That's $500 a month at a 7% interest rate for 40 years. So you can retire when you're 65. You'll have $1.3 million in your individual retirement account. Now, the younger you are, time is on your side, because if you were to keep this equation exactly the same, $5,000 initially deposited, $6,000 a year, which is $500 a month at a 7% interest rate, but instead of starting at 25 for 40 years, you started at 35 for 30 years. Instead of $1.3 million, you'll only have $644,000. That's a little under half of what you would have had if you would have started at 25 instead of 35. And I believe that the issue is that the information isn't getting out there soon enough. In order to do this, in order to contribute $5,000, first you have to have $5,000. In order to contribute $500 a month, you haven't have a stream of income that allows you to contribute $500 a month. You need time to prepare for something like that. So getting this information to an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, or a 20-year-old will allow them to put 5 years in place to prepare to start saving for retirement in their mid-20s. Saving up for your retirement in your 20s is one of the best ways to ensure that you're on track for a very comfortable retirement. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, then you'll probably like 5 mistakes you are doing that are hurting your credit. So make sure you click on that video. It'll be right here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. In the meantime, stay strong because I love you. Bye, guys.